So for the first time in a few days, I was actually able to get like a good night's sleep last night. Might have been because my pups are home. I don't know, but that always helps. But man, it's like, yeah, we're all watching the things that Trump and the people, the sociopaths in his administration are doing. Fortunately, the courts are stepping up and they're stopping a lot of these things. And yeah, he did his little Napoleon quote, and he put out an executive order yesterday saying that only the president and the attorney general can determine what the law is in the United States. I, which on the one hand is very concerning, but on the other hand is incredibly dumb and stupid. But I think the thing that I'm experiencing the greatest levels of frustration with, I'll put it that way. Like, I see all these things going on online. I read all these news stories, and I'm watching people's TikToks. The things that cause me the greatest level of frustration, and it's nothing new. It just seems to have. I think they've just hit the gas pedal over the last 4 or 5 weeks. The just stunning stupidity and gullibility of Trump supporters. It it's mind blowing. It's mind blowing. It's mind blowing. I mean, just one thing. I talked about one thing yesterday that Elon Musk and Donald Trump have both said yesterday and Monday, that there are tens of millions of people, 100 years old, 200 years old, 300 years old, who are still collecting Social Security checks. There are these fraudulent Social Security checks, tens of millions of them. First of all, did that only start when Joe Biden took office in 2021? Because if it didn't, then it was also going on the entire time that Donald Trump was president the first time. Why didn't he do anything about it then? He had control over the entire executive branch. Why didn't he do anything about it then? Second, I don't even know why I make that first argument, because the fact that they're saying that there's at least one person on the Social Security rolls who's 360 years old. What, is there some family somewhere that has been like passing down fraudulent Social Security checks that started 150 years before the United States even came into existence? I don't understand how grown-ass adult people in the United States can be this objectively, loudly, aggressively stupid. They're just stupid in ways that I have never experienced before in my life, and at a level that I have never encountered, and with an exuberance and with an energy that is just unparalleled. Unparalleled. And I don't even know that I would describe it as critical thinking. I describe critical thinking as, okay, let's sit down and really unpack this and do some investigation and see. No, that's critical thinking. Hearing that there are 10 million people, or tens of millions of people, receiving fraudulent Social Security checks, and the Social Security system reflects their ages as being more than 150 years old. How do you not just immediately go, that's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard in my entire life? There's literally no possible way that could even happen. Instead, they hear Elon Musk say that, and they get on Twitter, and they're like, wow, isn't it curious that There are tens of millions of Americans fraudulently, and they're 250 years old. Like, they hear it and they're like, oh, that's real. That's true. That's accurate. Let's start with this question. Who are the people who are actually receiving and cashing these checks? And if it's been going on for 150 years, what's the transfer been between? It's like a person who's been getting fraudulent security checks for somebody else who's been dead for 100 years. They're getting ready to die. Do they just like pass that off to one of their relatives so the relative can get those checks? It's like, how fucking stupid can you possibly be? It's the dealing with the stupid people that is the most frustrating. And I never even have to interact with them in person. I just see them on the interwebs. But I think it's the stupidity of voters on the right that is what's making me despair the most for this country right now. And by right now, I mean at 10 minutes after 8 a.m. West Coast time on a Wednesday. I'm sure that could probably change in the next 15 minutes. But that's where we're at right now. Have a great Wednesday, everybody.